because I have already made an offer a few weeks ago that we would be pursuing political reform. It's something that we've offered to do alongside the opposition and other parties, and also the NGOs, because we think we want an inclusive process to move democracy forward.
But, sir, how do you wedge, or how do you bridge, I should say, the very deep divide in your country? So even if you do have the situation under control right now, it doesn't mean that there won't be any more protests and chaos in the next few weeks. We've seen this happen before. How is this going to change now?
What we will prove to all sides is that we are willing to move democracy forward in a political reform process that is inclusive. We will prove that we will not be discriminatory and make sure that there is justice. And so far, and so long as this government has been in office, we respect the rule of law, and we do everything in a transparent and accountable manner, including the operations over the last 24 hours, where all the media were present, where all the hospital directors have been giving real facts about injuries or people who have been admitted to hospital.
Sir, I want you to listen to a soundbite that we have here from Thaksin Shinawatra when he spoke to CNN just moments ago. He's been saying he will return to Thailand to lead a march in the capital. I want you to take a listen to what he had to say, and we want to come back and hear your response.
I've been ousted by military coup d'etat. They set up the committee comprised of those who are in my political opponents. You know, and then the process that they are doing is really unconstitutional. It's one court system. And I think the system there is not really not democratic. So that's the reason why the people are asking for true democracy. It's not just democracy under the control of some elite groups.
So Mr. Thaksin is saying that your government, you are undemocratic, your government is illegal and unconstitutional. How do you respond to that?
Well, it's not true, because the same constitution, the same process of electing prime minister in parliament returned two previous governments who happened to be his supporters. He didn't call them undemocratic then. And everything has gone according to the constitution, according to the law, and according to the normal parliamentary democratic process. And I reiterate, nobody is denying the need for further political reforms and political development. But you do not achieve that by violence, you do not achieve that by rioting, by not respecting the rule of law, and certainly you do not do it by intimidating political opponents.
Sir, do you have what it takes to bring people together? Mr. Thaksin has a wide support in Thailand, specifically those within the rural communities, and he has shown that, but he has won landslide elections before. Do you have what it takes to bring people together?
Well, the latest set of elections that we had were in January, about a few weeks after I took office, and we won 21 out of 27 by-elections. None of those seats were actually Democrat seats before the elections.
But that was a very close election. You had to bring together a coalition, and people from Mr. Thaksin's party had to come and work with you. But in terms of your own influence, what kind of influence do you have?
Well, in fact, in the previous elections, the popular vote, I lost by 100,000 votes out of 30 million. And we've come a long way. We have now proved that you can have a democratic and a clean government, a government that respects human rights, no extrajudicial killings, no unaccountable deaths, and no interference with the media and independent organizations.
But how does that translate to those who really understand and really feel that Mr. Thaksin actually hears what they're saying? And I'm talking about those who are living in the rural communities, those communities who feel isolated by you and your government.
No, we have not isolated anybody. The policy package that we pursued very much is focused on the rural poor and the least fortunate in society. The biggest spending item that my government is engaging in is the price support program for farmers. We are actually reaching out to make sure that there is free education and also income guarantee for the elderly. All these are actually helping the least fortunate, the poor. We need time to get these packages fully implemented to make those people see that it's not any single government that aims at doing this. All democratically elected governments should be doing this, and any program that has been beneficial during the Thaksin administration, we continue.
Sir, if you could clarify something for me, please. We are getting reports that the Education Ministry in Bangkok is on fire. Do you have any information on that?
The fire has been put out.
Okay, and how long do you think this this current chaos can last? Do you have the military support?
What I want to do is to restore law and order as soon as possible. We think that by this evening, we should be able to contain a lot of the activities so that the main focus will be the remaining protests around Government House. And we will try to ask them to disperse. And I will make sure that everybody is given justice.
All right. Prime Minister Abhisit of Thailand, thank you, sir, so much for your time. Now, in just a moment, we'll hear again from ousted Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra and a spokesman for the... but first, our Dan Rivers is right in the middle of the violent protest playing out in Bangkok and has this eyewitness report.
After hours of taunting, finally the patience of the Thai military was exhausted. Volleys of gunfire over the heads of demonstrators, entire magazines emptied into the sky. And these were live rounds. It sent the anti-government red shirts running for cover, but not for long. They responded by sending buses careening down the road, driverless and out of control. Others were set ablaze. Parts of Bangkok, the tourist gateway of Thailand, were a battlefield. And we were caught in the middle of it.
The army are now continuing to fire and move forward. Most of the shots are being directed in the air, but certainly very scary. Molotov cocktails and bricks are coming back the other way. And I don't think we're going to get much closer than this because it's obviously very dangerous down there. But you can hear it's a real pitched battle going on.
The red shirts are demanding the resignation of Prime Minister Abhisit Wejjajiwa. He's already declared a state of emergency in the city as the government struggles to maintain order. The red shirts want the ousted Premier Thaksin Shinawatra to be allowed to come back. Thaksin was deposed in a coup in 2006 and has been living in exile since, having been found guilty of corruption. All last year, yellow-shirted protesters took to the streets to try and dislodge Thaksin's allies, who were in power. That government collapsed after a court ruled they'd rigged the election. Now, the red shirts are battling it out with the army, hoping to bring Thaksin back as the power struggle that has gripped Thailand for 2.5 years continues to worsen. Dan Rivers, CNN, Bangkok.
Well, the red shirts and yellow shirts in the streets, factions at odds in Thailand, but just who wears these contrasting colors? The populist-leaning United Front for Democracy Against Dictatorship uses red as their symbol, mainly from outside the cities, and poor. They support exiled former Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra and want more money spent on combating poverty. Now, on the other side, the yellow shirts, it is the royal color and symbol of the People's Alliance for Democracy, a coalition of monarchists and wealthier Thais. They support conservative economics and values and want a strong role for the military in running the country. Now, the protests have dealt another blow to the city's vital tourism industry. The Thai New Year began Monday today and is traditionally a multi-day celebration. Several countries are warning their citizens in Thailand to stay indoors and not travel throughout the country. South Korea has called on its nationals in and around Bangkok to return home. Cathay Pacific Airlines says it will waive cancellation and rerouting charges for all tickets involving travel to Thailand. Now, if you're in Bangkok, do let us know how these protests are affecting you. Show us what you're seeing. Upload your pictures and video at ireport.com. But of course, please do not put yourself in any danger. Well, we've got plenty more on the story on our website. You can find blogs from Dan Rivers and read about the potential business impact, all at cnn.com/international. Here are some of the other stories that we're following this hour.
ก็น่าสังเกตก็คือว่าภาพของ CNN นั้นก็เน้นของทหารเน้นภาพทหารยิงปืนนะครับแต่กลับไม่มีการนำเสนอภาพความป่าเถื่อนความโหดร้ายของม็อบเสื้อแดงทั้งที่รอยัลคลิปปิดรีสอร์ททั้งที่ในกระทรวงมหาดไทยเมื่อวานนี้แล้วก็ทั้งแม้กระทั่งวันนี้ก็ตามการเผาบ้านเผาเมืองการก่อการจลาจลแม้แต่คำที่เขาใช้ยังใช้คำว่า protest ทั้งที่จริงๆมันควรใช้เรื่องของการ riot เนี่ยคือพยายามก่อการจลาจลนะครับไม่ปรากฏภาพการก่อความวุ่นวายของพวกเสื้อแดงเลยแม้แต่น้อยพยายามจะเน้นทหารยิง เห็นไหมครับ